Are you feeling down in the dumps, like life just isn't fair and you just cannot catch a break? You're just so ready to pivot. How do you even do that, though? That's what you're going to learn here today in part 2 of my conversation with the incredible Pierce J. Brooks. So make sure you stay tuned and watch all the way to the end so you can hear exactly how he was able to achieve that pivot and go on to a victorious life. Hi, I'm Rebecca Zung, top 1% attorney and the best-selling author of the books Negotiate Like You Matter and Breaking Free, a step-by-step divorce guide. And I've helped thousands of people go from lives of drama, trauma, and chaos to step into lives of freedom, possibility, and purpose. And I do the same thing for you right here on my channel. So make sure you subscribe and you hit that notification bell. And then you'll get notified when I upload awesome interviews just like this one with Pierce Brooks. So without further ado, let's dive into part 2 with my conversation with Pierce and to learn how to pivot at such a young age. So how were you able to pivot into doing what you want to do?
I think it's extremely layered, and I think it's let situation after situation being let down and my expectations dropping and my ego dropping. So I had gotten used to things not working out, right? So which can, like you said, lead to a victim mentality. But I had been pivoting pretty much all my life, so it kind of created it started to condition me to different experiences than what I expected. But on the one hand, me growing up and experiencing everybody around me say that I was going to be something great, like you're going to go to the NBA, right? Or my family saying that I was going to accomplish something great, that made me think that I was here for a reason. So I had this deep belief that I had purpose in my life. So that made me always I was curious and I sought out different things. What am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to be? So that was the guiding light for me in my dark moments.
So I'm curious, was there somebody else in your life that was helping you learn how to do this, or was this just innate for you?
I would say there were many people in my life. My uncle is a huge mentor of mine. He was a guiding light for me and really, pepped me up. I always seem to have, fortunately, the right people at the right time to give me some source of inspiration, whether it was a great coach that told me the right thing, a teacher that told me I was smart and I was, talented or something like that. My uncle, as I mentioned, maybe some music. I was, heavy into music, so I wanted to find some song that was uplifting, a YouTube video. So I always kind of looked for something to give me some light. So I think all of that helped.
What role would like gratitude or appreciation play in all of this for you?
It's the only way that I was able to pivot gracefully and compassionate with my experience and be able to let it go. Gratitude and surrender, I think, are the two core themes that I had to be grateful for my basketball experience, because I learned so much from it and I met so many great people. And if my experience is only conditioned around, if basketball is only a success conditioned around making it, that's a horrible, I mean, it's not a good way to live life, because sometimes things don't work out, whether you had the talent to make it or not. But if I look at all the things basketball did bring for me, got to travel, got to get an education, got to meet great people, life lessons, all this stuff I am grateful for. And it was changing that relationship with basketball from resentment to gratitude, which is what allowed me to pivot.
Yeah, I think that makes such a huge difference. And I read one time that when you're in a state of gratitude, you're actually in a state of receiving. And because you're you're saying I'm grateful for what I have, so now you're open to receiving. And so unless you're grateful, you actually can't get more of the good things into your life. And
Yes.
so rather than you sitting around going, well, I lost 4 scholarships and I didn't get the MBA and I didn't end up where I wanted to be or where I was supposed to be. And, if you had just focused on all of that, I think that you would have just gotten more bad stuff in your life. I think that the
Yes.
fact that you were able to focus, I mean, what you focus on is what you end up manifesting. And the fact that you were able to pivot that and go, I'm grateful for the experience. Yes, it didn't work out the way I wanted it to, but actually it worked out better.
Yes.
I think that makes a huge difference in people learning how to pivot. And actually, I've had to deal with toxic people in my life, which is, you know, part of the reason why I do what I do now for helping people through negotiating with narcissists and high conflict personalities. And had I not been through my own experiences of hell dealing with them, I
Hmm.
wouldn't have the compassion that I have. I wouldn't even be doing this now. So,
Yes.
I think that it always happens for a reason, right? So how
Right.
do you suggest people, start identifying what they need to pivot in their lives and how to do that?
I think it's spending considerable time with yourself, getting used to your own voice. And we going back to social pressure, like we were talking about, like you experienced with your family, right? And being a doctor or a lawyer, or we all have this social pressure in our lives, and it starts with our families. And as we grow out, it expands. And you go to school, and your friends say you're supposed to be this, teachers say you're supposed to be that, and you have social media, and you have all the people are posting their kids, and you think you're supposed to be married with children by a certain age. I mean, there's all these pressures hitting us at any given point. And so what you have to do, I think, is really try to separate yourself from that and start to do introspective work on how you feel about things. So I'm a strong proponent of writing things out, journaling things, even conversations, just some form of expression. I think when you express yourself in whatever way that you do, whether it is talking it out, writing it down, some people like to just dance in their room alone. Some type of expression will help you just tune into your own essence. And really implementing that as a practice for yourself consistently is how you start to build confidence in your own voice. Because if you're so focused on everyone else giving you the answers, then you never get to where you feel like you're supposed to be.
Yeah. And I think that those areas that are of difficulty for you are the areas where I feel like the universe is saying, okay, here's where you need to grow. Here's where you need to
Yes.
learn. You
Right.
know,
Right.
I know for myself, sometimes I'm like, okay, I think I've learned it now. No, all
Right.
right,
And,
we can move
and
on.
right. And the way that you grab it too is you have to commit to your choice. So you can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because that's the only way. If you know if this is purpose, what's the voice in our head telling us? Is it purpose or chatter, right? You only know if it's purpose if you commit to it, if you give your all to it. So you can't be like, oh, I'm just going to test it out. You really just have to go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, interestingly enough, speaking of you having a life of learning how to pivot, you've had to pivot again because of COVID-19.
Right.
You lost your day job,
Yep.
apparently. So, tell us about that.
It and I've been working in cannabis for the last 3 years, and great experience. I was a department marketing director, and it was a lot of fun. But this year, 2020 has been different for all of us, right? Um, I f- my TEDx talk came out in February, and I had been doing some speaking engagements before that, but this really kind of launched a shift in my life where certain opportunities that came in that I did really, never really saw coming before. And I was like, you know what? I love doing this. I want to figure out how to really make this part of what I do, my business, helping people and things like that. And so, right as I'm thinking about this and bringing clarity to my feelings, I get laid off. And instead of like holding that resentment, right, I was just like, this is really what I asked for. This is what I wanted. I want to start my own business. I want that freedom, and I want to help people. And so I had gratitude for the opportunity, and I'm building my business, and it's been a wonderful experience for me.
So tell us about your business.
Yeah, Empowered Storytellers is a life coaching and team building service. So work a lot with one-on-one empowerment training and also team building for companies. And so a lot of what I do with companies is, a lot of people are asking, a lot of organizations are wondering how to kind of structure remote team building, how they build their teams through, the new world that we have now with Zoom and all that. Also doing talks around promoting racial equity as a Black man, and having experience in 2 of the last 3 companies. I've been the only Black person in companies over 100 people. I have, various talks and ideas around how to structure, equity across people across the, the entire organization, right? And making sure that everyone has a voice. And so that's what my company does right now. We have some lot of great opportunities with companies, small and large, that we're working on right now. And so it's been, a wonderful experience.
Amazing. So, I mean, it's like the best thing that ever happened, right?
Yes.
So, what is your overall message to people?
My overall message is find meaning in madness. This is a crazy time for everyone right now, and it's all happening for a reason. And we find those reasons when we do that introspective work, right? All this civil unrest, COVID happening, all this where we have to sit at home. It's making us it's making us pivot. And
I love that, find meaning in madness. That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's what it's all
I've
about right now.
often said, out of chaos comes clarity. It's like
Yes.
another way of saying that.
Yes.
So, this is a question that I ask all of my guests. If you were to choose a spirit animal for yourself, what spirit animal would you be?
Oh, that's a great question. Spirit animal. Um, I would say a. I'm caught between 2, but I'm going to say a horse.
Okay, so
Um,
why?
I've been riding horses since I was 12 years old, and I just feel really I feel free when I'm on a horse, and I feel like I'm really in my element, right? So a wild horse, right? I think that's what I really connect with horses. If I were to say something in the air, I would say maybe a hawk.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
They're both really cool.
Yeah. What about you?
I love that question, because you can tell a lot. I used to say tiger, but then I looked up what it meant if your spirit animal was a tiger. And when I read that, I was like, no, it's not me.
I'm not a tiger.
Yeah, no, it's not me. So I think I'm more like a lioness, like very protective of my family, but also very purposeful in what I do. And, I see things through, I take care of everyone. So
Yeah.
I think it would be that. That's what I'm going with right now. Anyway.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to look this up. I'm going to look up a horse and a hawk and see if they fit. If they don't, next time I talk to you, maybe I'll have a different animal.
There you go. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
not locked in.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
where can people find out more about you?
I'm Pierce J. Brooks pretty much everywhere you go. So on Instagram at Pierce J. Brooks. My website is piercejbrooks.com. Also have a Medium blog where I publish blogs and articles. So definitely reach out, and would love to chat with you.
All right. Thank you so much, Pierce. This was really great and a lot of fun.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Thanks for watching this part 2 of my conversation with Pierce J. Brooks. Isn't he amazing? So if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, make sure you do that. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also make sure to share it and drop me a comment and like it and let us know what you liked about it, so that we can continue to bring you excellent content right here on this channel. If you want my free Crush My Negotiation Prep Worksheet, you know where to get it. winmynegotiation.com is the URL for that. And if you want to join me in my free private Facebook group, come do that as well, which is at Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'm so glad that you're here. Remember, today is always a great day to start negotiating your best life, and I'll see you in the next video.